Hello, BookTube. We had such good luck with that last mail haul done on camera, extemporaneously, that I feel like doing it again. But I'd fallen out of the habit of doing live book hauls, and so I opened a box off camera. And unfortunately, because of that, you all missed the joyful squeal when I saw what was inside. Apparently, quite a few of you like that squeal more than you like anything that I might say about the boring old books. I'm going to show you the book. I want to show you the book that provoked the squeal, just in case you're interested. It comes out at the end of this month. It's this. It's by Jeremy Jennings, and it is Travels with Tocqueville Beyond America. A nice, satisfyingly heavy thing from the from Harvard University Press about Alexis de Tocqueville, who was a young son of a French noble family who came to America and ended up writing a book, Democracy in America, which is, oddly enough, fittingly enough, I think, for a country that's entirely about immigration, an American classic. I think one of the most perceptive things ever written about America, or if what you could call the American character, and also fantastically fun to read. It is a wonderful, wonderful book. There's all sorts of trade paperbacks. It's a Penguin classic. I strongly recommend it. Don't be put off by the fact that stupid venal politicians often have their flunkies prize out jury-rigged little quotes to serve their purposes in disenfranchising black people or pauperizing old people. Don't be fooled by that into thinking that that's the kind of a tub-thumping book that it is. It's not. It's really, really good. And what Jennings underscores here in this book is that America wasn't the only place that de Tocqueville visited. He went everywhere, and he wrote copiously about it. I got this book yesterday in the mail, and I thought, well, this is ultimately about travel writing. Jennings starts off his book by noticing that the great travel writer Sarah Wheeler, who I hope Mark at Booktime and Elvis, what I will get to eventually in our ongoing eternal S&M journeys, where we're doing a regular BookTube thing. We're giving you the break for March because March is choked with BookTube events. But starting in April, we're going to read one piece of great travel writing every month until Mark is old and gray and then finally dies, which is going to happen extra soon because I lamprey out all the life energy of the people who deal with me. But we're starting off with Patrick Leigh Fermor, as you really pretty much have to when it comes to travel writing. But I'm hoping, I saw this. I'm going to do a lot of extra reading for S&M Journeys. Mark might just do the one book that we're talking about for that month, but I'm of course going to overdo it as I do everything. And I saw this and I thought, oh well, perfect. It's the end of March that this book comes out, so it'll be perfect for you to read in April in conjunction with S&M Journeys. I of course did not. I swallowed this whole almost as soon as I got my fingers on it. But Jennings opens it by mentioning that Sarah Wheeler, the great travel writer Sarah Wheeler, who wrote a great book called Terra Incognita, refers to Tocqueville as one of the great travel writers of all time. And he bristles a little at that good-naturedly, saying, well, that's not how most people would think of him. But then he goes on to find that de Tocqueville did a huge amount of travel writing, what amounts now to travel writing. And this book covers all of that. This author, bless him, he almost completely eschews secondary sources of any kind in favor of simply reading what de Tocqueville wrote, which we have a vast amount of. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. It's just wonderful. And it's just sui generis enough so that it may end up in this little book room. I will put it dutifully. I have an area that is steadily growing. I have an area for 2023 books of all kinds. And I will put it dutifully there, but I expect it to come in here, where there are a handful of other de Tocqueville books. But that is the squeal that you missed. And then we have two other packages that I will open on camera, and I will, let's remember, exercise self-control. That's all. That's the only thing I need to do in order to make mail hauls possible again, is to exercise self-control. In fact, I forget where it was. Was it on Instagram? Somewhere or other, Heather Gregg hilariously suggested that we should come up with a code word, a code phrase, or a code gesture that means I have encountered something that will get me canceled if I talk about it, so I am going to not talk about it. She suggested hilariously that we should come up with a secret code to dictate that. I, of course, thought about Seinfeld, where the code, this means we're at a party, I'm surrounded by tedious people, come and rescue me, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I think the dingo ate your baby. Okay, great. We're not going to get into trouble with this first one. And the more I hear about this first one, the more I think this is going to be something. This isn't just going to pass away, this is great. This is Nicholas Orm's book, Tudor Children. This is the finished copy of Tudor Children, which more and more people that read it and see it and know about it, maybe not so much in America. I'm doing my best. I want this reviewed everywhere in America, absolutely everywhere. But more and more history-inclined people, Tudor-inclined people that don't have any intention of reviewing this book, don't have any venue to do so, are calling it really kind of special, really a standout thing. And what those people are too nice to say, and they're only implying it, and I am too nice to say because I'm well known for how nice I am, is that is directly by implication, right? That's directly by comparison with the usual ruck of Tudor crap that comes out that's just saying, oh, and then merry old Hal, and whatnot, and that is effectively useless. And considering the high toxicity of the ink involved, it's even useless as toilet paper. And those Tudor books choke the shelves every year. Stuff that is worse than not being written. It actually detracts from the body of knowledge. This seems real. This seems like a real Tudor book. So very glad to have the finished copy. It's a study of as much as we can possibly know about what childhood was like in the Tudor era. What was it like? What did we think? What did the people in that era actually think about it? What did they think about kids? I think that Nicholas Orm will probably take aim at a lot of long-standing misconceptions, long-standing easy reductions of the Tudor era that I'm hoping that he takes aim at them. They're obviously not true. We say all the time, people say all the time, I've caught many popular historians saying that because the child mortality rate was so high, because you'd have 3 children in 3 years, it's likely that none of them would live outside the cradle, that probably they didn't care as much. like the people who write that kind of nonsense think that the people who lived in the Tudor era were, I don't know, goldfish? Aliens? Of course they cared. Of course they did. And there's ample documentary evidence for that. So I'm very interested to see. I don't remember the date on this thing, but I will be getting to it, definitely. And then the final package is satisfyingly heavy. So it's probably another finished copy, and we will just mind our manners. That's all. That's all we need to do. We'll just mind our manners. That's all. What have we got here for this? What is going on with this package? Okay, let's get you to behave yourself so you're not sticking stuff all over my little book room. All right, let's behave enough. What is this? Okay. All right. Well, counting the de Tocqueville book, we are 3 for 3 in terms of Steve books. This is from the folks at Knopf. This is the huge hardcover finished copy of Christendom, The Triumph of a Religion by Peter Heather. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's only books like this and the de Tocqueville book that make me squeal like you were in a Jack Edwards video. What can I say? Let's read about this just a little. Tudor Children is fairly self-evident, but let's read about this because you can see this stops 1,000 years ago. So let's see what we have here. In the 4th century AD, a new faith grew out of Palestine, overwhelming the paganism of Rome and resoundingly defeating a host of other rival belief systems. Almost 1,000 years later, all of Europe was controlled by Christian rulers, and the religion, ingrained within culture and society, exercised a monolithic hold over its population. But how did a small, select sect of isolated and intensely committed congregations become a mass movement centrally directed from Rome? As the author shows in this illuminating new history, there was nothing inevitable about Christendom's rise and eventual dominance. Now, I don't remember the date on this either. I think this is the end of this month as well. So I've got a lot of big, fat hardcover reading to do, or rereading to do. So we have Christendom. We have Tudor Children. And we have Travels with Tocqueville. So, as far as a mail haul goes, it really doesn't get more Steve than this. Very, very happy. Good. And we did not need our secret hand gesture. We have to come up with one of those, or phrase of some kind. But in the meantime, there's a 10-minute mail haul for you that has a lot of work involved for Steve. A lot of work, pleasant work, is involved for Steve. I think, well, the Tocqueville book rudely elbowed everything off my TBR last night, and I think Christendom will now as well. But Tudor Children's mighty tempted too. I'll get to it all. That's all. So many books, so little time, but I have the time. So there you go. But anyway, that's the mail for today. We are 2 for 2 in avoiding the horrible censors that control our lives. We will see self-control. And maybe a hand gesture. But anyway, I'll wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.